Welcome back to Hot Topics TV, y'all. Y'all already know if the topic is hot, we're on it. And nothing is hotter than this story right here. Okay, Nia Long and Ime Udoka. I hope I'm saying his name right. Ime Udoka. They are no longer together. Matter of fact, they've actually now decided it's time to go our separate ways. When the story first broke that Ime Udoka was being involved with somebody else at work, and then it hit the front pages of all the gossip magazines and all the websites and all the blog and vlog sites, it must have been pretty embarrassing for Nia. Nia Long. Nia Long is considered the epitome of sexy, my friend. Nia Long is considered that girl or one of those, right? Or that woman then. She's a sex symbol. And a lot of men were saying, oh my God, if Nia Long could get cheated on, then who are you? I found that, I don't know, sometimes we laugh at other people's pain until that pain happens in our life, and then we're no longer laughing. But that's just life. Hey, I say laugh because ain't none of us getting out of here unscathed and alive. You understand? Anyhow, Nia Long and Ime Udoka have officially called it quits. They've broken up, according to People. Shout out to MSN. News of the breakup came 3 months after the Boston Celtics suspended Udoka, their head coach, and Long's fiance. A representative for Long confirmed to People that the couple is no longer together, but they remain fully committed to co-parenting their son. Now, I saw somebody said they weren't married anyways. They were shacked up. People be passing all kinds of judgment. You know what I'm saying? They weren't married anyways. They were shacked up. Do y'all know that not everybody sees this churchical way of marriage as marriage? And most people only do it for the financial benefits that comes along with it and all the other stuff. Like if something happens to me, I want to make sure that my wife and my children are okay and that there's no one else here fighting for all the stuff that we own and I built and we left behind, etc., etc. They do it for those legalities, not necessarily because they believe that this is the way. Even some people will tell you that the good book says. Y'all know what the good book is. Especially if you're black, you know what the good book is. The good book says that sexual intercourse is actually marriage. It's a spiritual thing where you have joined two souls. So anyhow, back to the story. Nia and Udoka. Udoka, by the way, is a NBA coach. Now, you know, NBA coach, they're in the money. That's the highest level of coaching that you could probably aspire to be if you're into the coaching world. And he's there coaching the Boston Celtics while he was having an extra affair on the side with one of the workers that work there. A representative for Nia Long has confirmed now that, hey, it's over. Okay. She was his fiance forever. Even had a child together. But it's over. I think it took this long for Nia Long to say it's over because she was trying to save face. Because when the news first broke, you know, sometimes things can be so embarrassing. When the news first broke, Nia acted as if she did not care. So I thought to myself, well, maybe it's because they have an open relationship. You know, people have agreements that us, the public, don't necessarily know about. Kind of like Will and Jada, that we don't necessarily know about the agreement between man and wife or wife and man. So we might see things on the outside and we might assume, oh, he's cheating or she's cheating. When in fact, they have an agreement to be open with their relationship. So it works for some people. So I was thinking, okay, so Nia's not acting up, but then came the public pressure. especially from black women. Oh, hell nah, girl. Girl, you can't take that. You're Nia Long. This is embarrassing. Drop that zero and get you a hero. Last week, Long expressed her frustration with how the Boston Celtics handled Udoka's suspension. In September, the NBA team suspended Udoka, Long's partner, for 13 years. I know there's a lot of people right now that are saying, damn it, man, 13 years. She's wasted 13 years of her life being with this man, being faithful to this man. Now, we don't know for sure if she was being faithful, you know what I'm saying? But what we do know is we have never caught Nia Long in any type of a scandal. There's no pictures out there with her in the company of any other man under conditions where someone would be suspicious. Is she cheating? What are they doing there? So her name has always remained clean. Her reputation has always remained clean. He's the one that got caught up. And the Boston Celtics, the NBA team, which he was the head coach for, Nia is saying this could have been handled behind the scenes without publicity, but I hate the way how they handled it because they put everything on Front Street. I don't think they were thinking about the child that they have involved in all of this. And sometimes bad publicity is good publicity, and sometimes people just don't care who gets thrown under the bus, right? So this being her partner for 13 years, the two had been engaged since 2015. The explanation for his suspension went from a violation of team policies to a report that he had an improper, intimate, and consensual relationship with a female member of the team staff. The lack of specifics raised more questions than it answered, and it's still not entirely clear exactly what happened. Wow, let's go through that again. She says the explanation for his suspension went from a violation of team policies. So your husband is suspended, right? And he's suspended from work, and he comes home and he goes, babe, I'm suspended from work. And what are you suspended for? I know you take your job seriously. What's going on? Are they going to fire you eventually? Are you under investigation for anything? He goes, well, they're saying that, I violated some team policies. That's how it started out. And then they upgraded it to a report has been made that he had a improper, intimate, but consensual relationship with a female member of the team staff. So I don't know how much clearer you wanted that to be, but that is what it was. And Nia is saying that right there raised more questions than it actually answered. I don't know if she wanted to hear straight out, they were fucking. They were fucking on the job. They were fucking off the job. They were fucking each other. They were having sexual intercourse with each other. It's called fraternization. It was improper, and we're putting him on suspension for this. That would have spelled everything out, and that would not have left any room for any question, but that's not how it was put, right? Now, at the time, Udoka, he gave a vague apology. It wasn't really like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, and broke down. And for 13 years, you've been my rock, and I love you, and I don't want to lose this or jeopardize anything. I'm going to go get some help. I have an addiction. It wasn't like that. He gave a vague apology that did very little to help clarify the situation. Nia Long publicly addressed the scandal for the first time in an interview that she did with The Hollywood Reporter. Now, while she too remained tight-lipped about what actually transpired, the actress made clear that she was not a fan of how the NBA team handled all of this. She said, if you're in the business of protecting women, then I'm sorry. No one from the Celtics organization has even called to see if I'm okay, to see if my children are okay. It's very disappointing, she said. So they ran with all these headlines. They publicized the story. And here I am. And I've been here for 13 years, over a decade. And they know who I am. They know my children. And not one individual called from that organization to say, Nia, are you all right? This thing is blowing up. It's all over the media. Are you okay? How are the children doing? Nothing. And like I said before, when it comes to publicity and handling business, these organizations don't give a damn about you, man. It's just like with the players when they're ready to trade number 5 because they see somebody who is hotter, younger, hotter as in grabbing headlines because he can jump, backflip, and dunk at the same time. And they're like, oh my God, this is a human specimen. This creature of a person is going to gain us 50,000 points per game. Let's trade Johnny and Bob. Let's trade number 5 and number 7 and get that young player over here. They don't sit and talk with these players. A lot of these players just wake up the next day and find out you're going to Boston or you're going to Miami or you're going to East but Timbuktu fuck. And they're like, what? I'm being traded? I feel betrayed. Well, it's the same way they handle business when it comes to the wife off or the fiance off and their children. Long and Udoka began dating in 2009 and they have an 11-year-old son together. She also has an older son with her ex-fiance Zigova Dorsey III. So she came into that relationship with a child already. And then this man gave her another child to add to that. So she got 2 children, right? All right. Boom. She also has an older son. I think the most heartbreaking, but you know what? Let me say this first before I go on. So the man she was with before, that gave her the older son, he was a fiance as well for many years. And the man who she is with now, she's no longer with, the Boston Celtics head coach, NBA coach, he was also a fiance for many years. So there's a pattern of having fiance but no husband, right? I don't want to be disrespectful, but somebody said, yeah, okay, whatever. That's just a glorified baby daddy. That's all she had. But I don't look at it like that. I look at it like that was her husband. You lived together for over a decade. That was your husband. Y'all share the same house. You get up, you take care of your children together. You pay bills, you do everything like that together. That was your husband. That's your spouse. That's your spouse. Okay? I think the most heartbreaking thing about all this was seeing my son's face when the Boston Celtics organization decided to make a very private situation public, she said, because this was private. This could have been handled behind the scenes. Somebody says, yo, we found out that your husband or your mate is having an affair with one of the females that work here on staff and it's blowing up. You know, we don't want to take it to the press. That's what they should have said. Instead, they just threw it out there. Headlines everywhere. TMZ, this, that, and the other. Boom. And no one cared. I think the most heartbreaking thing about all this was seeing my son's face when the Boston Celtics organization decided to make a very private situation public. According to the Hollywood Reporter, Nia Long pulled her son out of school when the news of the scandal broke. She said it was devastating, and it still is. He has moments where it's not easy for him. The Cut has reached out to the Celtics for comments and will update this story when we hear back from them. And I will be following MSN.com on the story to hear what the update is. But I can imagine Nia trying to protect this kid, but I can also imagine the child having to deal with the fact that, oh my gosh, my dad had an affair and the whole world now knows about it. This is so embarrassing. He was sleeping with somebody at his job, and now mom's packing all our shit to move us. They're breaking up. See, adults can handle that stuff because most adults are, even though you might not be all the way mature emotionally, you're emotionally mature enough, and you've done been through enough relationships by now, makeup and breakups, to understand that, okay, this is something that happens between adults, and it hurts sometimes because some people don't give a shit. They just move on because they've been gone from the relationship for a long time mentally. So now it's time to move on physically. But some people are really invested in their relationship, and when they break up, it's the breakup, and it's a hard breakup. But you understand that as an adult, so you're going to heal. Whether it's spending some time alone, filling your bathtub up, putting some rose petals in the water with a little bit of bubble bath solution, and grabbing a bottle of wine and playing some Barry White and some nice slow music, some Aretha Franklin, Anita Baker, getting to your zone. Whether it's reading a book, curled up on a couch, being alone, well, however the case may be that you heal, go to the park, take your shoes off, walk in the grass, meditate in the sun. I don't know. But children don't have these coping mechanism skills in place yet. Their whole world goes into a tailspin when things like this happen on a small level. So you can only imagine on a big level like this is all over mainstream media. Like, it cannot be hidden. It's all over the blog sites, and vloggers are talking about it, and it's all over the internet. It's a different time and a different age. Even the teachers in school are going to be looking at the students like, damn, your daddy is cheating with a girl at work. You're going through some shit. And not all teachers are sensitive. And then the teachers are put in a funny place because the teachers, you don't know as a teacher if you're supposed to go to that child and be like, hey, I know what's going on at home. As you can see, it's all over the place, but we're here for you. We're here to protect you, okay? So if there's anything you need to talk about, feel free to come talk to me, okay? You don't know if you want to say that, or if you want to act like you don't know when it's a lie, because you do know. You, along with everybody else, knows. With that said, let's close this one out like this. It was funny to see a lot of people, especially men, that were saying to women out there, listen, if Nia Long could get cheated on, what makes you think you can't get cheated on? If Beyonce could get cheated on, what makes you think you cannot get cheated on? In other words, it's like this. Stop judging yourself by your vajayjay's worth. Stop putting everything on your relationship into, if he cheats, I'm out of here. A marriage vow says, for better or worse, in sickness and in health. It didn't say nothing about if he cheats, run. If she cheats, run. Right? So this is one of the reasons why marriage is hard work. And if you're going to consider yourself married, then you're going to have to walk in that light, which means you're going to have to find ways to work out. But I have a feeling he done this before. This one became too public to ignore, and this was too much embarrassment for Nia to stomach. Leave your comments in the comment section below, and I'll catch you on the next video. It's Hot Topics TV. You already know if the topic is hot, we're on it. I'm out. Peace.